The beautiful sights of Iowa City, Iowa, where a massive day is on deck today. The scene outside looking serene, but the college game day crew is in town. So you know there is going to be madness inside because we're about to see a top 6 showdown. The jerseys are ready. The fans are piling in to see Caitlin Clark and her final home game of her career in the regular season there inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. As we welcome you into Countdown to College Game Day, covered by State Farm, alongside Harry Lyles, Alexa Philippou, Kelsey Riggs, hanging out with you for the next half hour. You guys, we've been talking about it all season long. Caitlin Clark, her career, her impact, what is she going to do? And then she makes the massive announcement this week, Harry, that she is, in fact, going to the WNBA. This is going to be her final time playing in the regular season in front of these crowds. What do you think, just first and foremost, about the timing of this decision for Caitlin?
I think it makes total sense. She's never been the type, really, except with her play, of course, to draw attention to herself. And so to do this now, and I think she had even mentioned, like, hey, this is senior night. I want my teammates to also get their shine as well. I think to get that out of the way days in advance as well really helps, and it's going to be a great night not just for her, but also, again, for her teammates as well.
And I'm sure there's a weight kind of off her shoulders now that this is out there, because this is a question she's gotten continuously for months now. Is she going to stay? Is she going to go pro? And now that it's out of the way, she knew in her gut for a while, it sounded like, that this is the way she was leaning. And now she can just kind of move forward with the next month of play and focus on trying to win a championship or get back to the Final Four with her teammates.
It takes some of, I think, the distraction away for later. Obviously not right now, because as you mentioned, it's senior day. They're getting ready for Ohio State, a massive game in terms of implications for the future, and we'll get into that. But at least for the rest of the season, you don't have your teammates having to answer questions, or you having to answer questions about, well, what's next? Now, we know what's next, but right now we're going to get to see a big game in Iowa today. The ticket prices for this game, you better hope you saved up all season and predicted that this was going to be Caitlin Clark's last game of the regular season there, because an average price of around, $546. Alexa, I mean, she has done so much for the game, so much for little girls and boys who love the game and parents who love to celebrate with their kids. What's her legacy in terms of how she's impacted college basketball?
With Clark, it's incredible is that she's coming up on this point in women's sports where women's sports are really taking over. Women's basketball is growing on such an exponential rate, and she's really become the face of that. And because of the way she plays and because of how exciting she is as a player, more and more people are tuning in too. So she's become the face of this moment of women's basketball, of women's sports, and brought along more people for the ride. So it's this incredible moment really for everyone to kind of celebrate what she's done at the college level and then to look forward to what she's going to do as a pro.
Yeah, 100%. And to me, it's almost less about her game, and it's, to me, almost more about her status. Like we were talking before the show, seeing some of the scene in Iowa City of whether it was today or in games past where people are like, there's no breathing room between them because they're so excited to get into the arena. I liken it to Steph Curry in the way that those two are not just superstars or stars, those are rock stars. Like, those are people that you mentioned today's ticket price. Like, who else are we doing that for? In any other sport, really. So, to me, she has really set the bar in terms of when we talk about future stars in the game, what are they going to be? Do they live up to what she has set as the standard? And
one thing I want to add, too, is she understands her role in that, and she really embraces it. And I'm sure that's a lot of pressure at times, or it can just be exhausting to have to sign autographs for, so many minutes after a game, but she understands it, and I think that's a real credit to her of being able to embrace that.
She's so gracious about it too. It seems like she soaks it up. She takes the time with every person because, that is their one time with Caitlin Clark. When you get to meet her, you get that autograph. There was a story, an editorial story that went viral this week of a dad that got to bring his daughter there and just talking about the bond that they have. And it's stories like that that are so cool because I know that she must realize how much she's impacting it. But everyone now that has gotten a chance to experience this has their own story about how Caitlin Clark has impacted their daughter or their son or their future. It's just really cool to see that. And she's definitely changed the game from what she's doing on the court, but also has just changed things outside of that in terms of her legacy. Lots of big things around this, guys, and lots of big praise when you talk about Caitlin Clark, Harry. The GOAT, greatest of all time, that conversation comes up.
Yeah.
We love Jay Will, one of our guys here at ESPN, who said, not the GOAT yet unless you win a championship. But how do you view Caitlin Clark, even if they don't win this year? Is she in the same category as the Sue Bird and the Taurasi's and the Cheryl Millers and some of those greats?
Yeah, for me, the GOAT conversation feels like that is a pro basketball conversation, right? With whether it's WNBA or NBA, whoever. With me, college basketball, we're talking about community, we're talking about tradition. And for me, what you do while you're somewhere and how long you do it for, to me, holds a little bit more weight. Just because, again, you see the impact that she has had in Iowa City. And we really haven't seen many things like that before. And so for me, would my feelings towards her and how great I already think she is change if she wins a title? Not really, which maybe that's unique to me. I don't know. But I don't think that she could do anything or, whatever, that would make me feel greater or less about what she has already established. Because, again, I feel like it is so unique to her.
I will add, too, I mean, she took Iowa to its first ever national championship game. So obviously they lost to LSU, but it's not like, she could never get to a Final Four. She was never able to be at that stage. So we'll have to see whether or not she can get back there this year with a team. But, it's also about like who you're surrounded by. That has a huge impact at the college game. And I know we can talk about a lot about, who Cheryl Miller had, who Diana Taurasi had and whatnot. But speaking of all those all-time greats, did you guys see that Maya Moore came to surprise Caitlin Clark today before the game? And Maya Moore.
Look at that face.
Look at that, dude.
Maya Moore is Caitlin Clark's all-time favorite WNBA player, and you can just tell like how much that means to her on this day to get that surprise.
It's like Caitlin Clark when the little girls see her.
Yes.
It's like her seeing her idol. I mean, as much as she has talked about what Maya Moore has meant to her and that was her big idol growing up. Elle's face is also phenomenal because Elle is soaking up every moment of this surprise as well, because I'm sure she knew it was coming. But Harry, it's really cool to see Caitlin kind of be in that moment of, oh my God, you're here for me.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, like even just like seeing that kind of like makes me feel a little emotional because like that's what this is all about.
His feelings. I like
that is really what this is all about.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, I mean, Caitlin is one of the biggest stars in all of sports right now. And to see the little girl come out of her in that moment, that's literally what this is all about. I love that.
So cool. Such a cool moment. Can't wait to see that interview later. I'm sure they'll have it coming up on College Game Day. And since she has declared that she is going to officially go to the WNBA draft, presumptive number one, we know what we're going to get with her. And Indiana, just about, the fever, like 5.5 hours away. If I'm the front office there, I'm loving life right now.
Yep.
I'm making all kinds of plans for how we're going to capitalize on this. But they've already got big plans with Aaliyah Boston, who was the number one overall pick last year that went there. What does this team potentially look like with Caitlin joining them?
For me, I'm thinking back to how good Caitlin Clark's connection was to Monica Sanano the past few years at Iowa. And then you actually say, okay, well, what if we instead put Aaliyah Boston on the court with her? And holy cow, that is going to be a duo that, especially as they get more time together and really are able to establish that chemistry, is going to be one of the most exciting to watch in the entire WNBA.
100%. And she's going to be going to a place that, look, if people from North Carolina might disagree with this, if you're from New York City, the DMV area, Indiana is the basketball capital of the world. They are going to embrace her in a very similar way that the people in Iowa City have. And I think that, I mean, again, like you mentioned, it's not that far away. I mean, they're going to truly embrace her and love her in a way that I don't know that any other WNBA city could. And that's not a knock against them. It's just that these folks in Indiana, man, they love their basketball.
Indiana's first game is at Mohegan Sun, Connecticut Sun, not very far from where we are. If you guys want to take a road trip,
That's
you
right.
can go ahead and plan. Go ahead and save your money, though. It's like $100 just for nosebleed tickets right now. I'm sure those will continue to go up once it is officially official. That's where Caitlin Clark is going. So that's next year, but let's get back to today because we do have a massive game with number 2 Ohio State, number 6 Iowa going head-to-head. It was Ohio State, Harry, that won the first go-round, scoring 100 points. Caitlin Clark went off, and she has 45, but it wasn't enough as Cody McMahon and company get it done. What needs to happen this go-round? What do you think?
I think Caitlin's got to be better with the basketball. And again, like this Ohio State defense is known for their pressure, but those turnovers, I think she had 7 that game. Right. She usually averages around 3 or 4. That's the difference maker for me because we always obviously talk about Caitlin's scoring, but she is also a key distributor on this team. So she's got to protect the basketball. She's got to be that distributor. And then, of course, a lot of that also falls on her teammates to make shots. So yeah, I think a combination of those things helps Iowa come out on top this time around. And obviously, that home crowd is going to do their damn best to cheer them on the victory.
Well, going off of your point, Clark had 45 points in that first matchup. The rest of the starters had 35. And we talked about this, I think it was last week too, but the rest of her teammates really need to make shots so that it's not only on her. She can score 45 points, but it's usually not great when she's having to score that much. She needs really her teammates to step up and make shots. But also, let's think about the defensive end for Iowa, because they allowed 100 points. They allowed Cody McMahon to score 33 points. They allowed all of the Ohio State starters to get in double figures. So that's the thing with Iowa this year is that, I mean, we can talk about this and how it's been an issue maybe in previous years, but if you're going up against a team like Ohio State, you need to have a little bit of resistance against a team that's that high-powered offensively.
This Ohio State team has already locked up the Big Ten regular season championship. They're on a 15-game winning streak, but it is at home. It is senior day. ESPN Analytics gives Iowa a 68% chance to win this game. Ohio State, though, I mean, what is it? You just touched on a couple of things and what we saw from Cody in that game, scoring 33, but they're on a 15-game win streak. What makes them so good?
It's a lot of the time their defense and the way that they can press. And so they don't always press, but even if they can get their half-court defense going, then that's really something that gives other teams trouble. So one of the things that makes them who they are, they forced 21 turnovers per game. So it kind of goes back to the point that you mentioned. They were able to really get Clark to cough up the ball a lot in that last matchup. But offensively, too, they're balanced. They have different players that can get going. Celeste Taylor has really come into her own in recent games. And she does a little bit of everything for them. She can get steals. She can dish it out. She can score. She can knock down threes. So they're really just a multifaceted team that also, when their defense is on, they're really just tough to beat.
Cannot wait to see this game, 1 o'clock Eastern, and of course, College Game Day coming your way to preview it all. This is a big matchup for today, and of course, to set up for the Big Ten championship week, which is also sold out already. So shout out to the crew for showing up for Caitlin and all these other women. But this is not just big in terms of that. It's big for the rest of the season because we saw the top 16 reveal from the committee. Now Charlie Creme has updated his latest top 4 seeds as we get ready for this final day of the regular season. Iowa, a number 2 seed, and Ohio State, a number 1 seed right now. Alexa, what's the implications down the road of this game? And obviously you still have the tournament to play in before you get to the NCAA tournament, the Big Ten tournament. But what does this game mean as far as seeding? Yeah, according to Charlie, Ohio State can lock up a 1 seed if they win today. And for Iowa, they would still remain a 2 seed, but they would get that number 5 overall spot if they're able to take away a win today. Something that's interesting, if you look at it, is those 1 seeds. Harry, something that we've talked about is the Pac-12. You got 2 1 seeds up there. So something's got to give with the Pac-12 as they continue to play each other. And it seems like we're going to be really in for a treat down the rest of the regular season. Yeah, 100%. There's still enough room where it feels like we could get some great chaos here between both the Big Ten and the Pac-12, depending on today's results. And then obviously, like you mentioned, the tournaments. So this is a fluid situation. This is going to be like one of the better tournaments I think that we've had in a while. And I mean, they've been pretty dang good. And they've been really, really good lately. It's partly because we have so many superstars in the game right now. We've been spending a lot of time on one of them, Caitlin Clark, who we now know is not staying but going. But we're going to talk about some of the others. Should they stay or should they go? Some of the big superstars right now in women's college basketball. And we know Caitlin Clark has made her announcement. But how about Cameron Brink? There's quite a few on that list right now. As you take a look at the WNBA mock draft, it would be Cameron Brink projected to go 2 overall. So stay or go? Let's start with Cameron Brink, Alexa. Yeah, I think Cameron Brink, she's won a championship at Stanford. She's been an All-American. She's done a lot of great things for the Cardinal, but I think my gut tells me she's probably going to go because she's done it all at Stanford, and now it's ready for her to go into the pros. She would have a really good spot to land, I think, in LA because they're rebuilding, so she could kind of be a big figure in that whole process. And, she's a West Coast kid, so LA, being able to remain in California, would actually probably work out pretty well for her. Could be a pretty good fit for her. Obviously, there's good things coming back at Stanford next year as well with the Cardinal. Another name that was on that list was Camila Cardoso, who is projected 4th right now in the WNBA mock draft. Stay or go for Camilla, because this South Carolina team doesn't matter if everybody goes away like they did last year. They just come right back and win 28 in a row again.
Yeah, and it looks like it'd be a pretty good situation. We had her going to the Sparks as well, right? I mean, her with Cam Brink, that first off, that'd be fun for both of them. I feel like she's averaging a career high in points per game and rebounds per game. And look, I'm projecting here a little bit, obviously. She's already gotten one championship. I feel like she's probably going to get another one this year. You'd be hard-pressed to convince me there's a whole lot more for her to do at the collegiate level. So I would opt for her to go as well.
I feel like her stock is so high right now as well, because last year kind of finding her role still within this team. This year has solidified it, especially with those numbers you just mentioned. Let's go to UConn now, and Aaliyah Edwards. She would be projected number 5 in the WA mock draft. We know she's got some teammates, Alexa, that have said that they're coming back. So if you're Aaliyah, stay or go.
She's also not really said one way or another what she wants to do. For me, I think she's grown each year at UConn. She has really shown that she is pro-ready, the way that she's expanded her game. But if she wants to win a championship, she might have a better chance next year when theoretically UConn will be healthier, have some of those players back that were injured this year compared to next year compared to this year, she might have a better chance. So I don't know how important that is to her, but I do think if she goes this year into the draft, that she'd have a really good chance of going high. And she's really gotten a lot of positive feedback so far.
She seems like she's in a great spot, but obviously all those injuries have compiled over the years for UConn. So you wonder, do I want one more with all of my teammates and they're healthy to see what happens there? Somebody who's saying literally on social media, should I stay? Should I go? Do I want one more? Is LSU star Angel Reese, projected 6th right now in the WNBA mock draft. So Harry, we know that they already got a championship last year. She knows what it feels like to be at the pinnacle of college basketball. Should Angel Reese stay or go?
I mean, she's got the tweet. Let's draw up a poll. Like she just,
that's what I was wondering.
Just leave it up to Twitter,
what
honestly.
Twitter says?
Like let's get weird here, Like do something on IG or something. But no, could she raise her stock if she stayed another year? Perhaps. But again, she's another one of these players where you've looked at everything that she's accomplished, and I think the only argument that people would make for her, and I think it's a bad faith one, is that, oh, well, her NIL earnings, well, listen, she could take them with her, go to the next level, continue to grow as a player, because I do think that she still has a lot of room to grow. She could do that at LSU, but again, I don't know how much more she could raise her stock, especially with some of the players that are going to be in next year's class as well.
The NIL conversation is so interesting because we heard it so much with Caitlin Clark. It's like, okay, yes, it changes, but they're still going to get endorsements. This used to be how we got paid, was when you went to the next level. So that's really interesting to me. Got one more for you guys. Georgia Amor from Virginia Tech, projected 9th in the WNBA mock draft. So what do you think about Georgia? Should she stay or should she go, Alexa?
I think she should probably go. Virginia Tech is not going to be the team that they've been the last 2 years once Elizabeth Kitley's gone. And even though Georgia Amor, is an incredible player and she makes people around her better, I know she's really close with Elizabeth Kitley too, and I kind of just lump those two together, right? Like they're a duo, and so it'd be weird for Georgia to be there and Liz to not be there. So, and she's, her game I think is pro-ready. I don't think she has that much more to prove. So to me, again, each player can make their own decision, and that's best for them. But I think I would see her growing and trying to go into the WNBA.
You guys are just over here like getting rid of all of our superstars. But the good news is, if they're all going, then we got a lot that are coming up through the ranks and a lot to be excited about with the freshmen right now and the way they've been showing out. But let's get to magic moments covered by State Farm now. And some of the big moments that we've seen, starting with Lexi Keys' three-pointer. It gives Oklahoma the win over Texas in the Big 12 title. Check this out. Wait for it.
Cash.
Come on. What do you think, Harry?
I love that. And look at everybody, all the excitement, The only way that this could have been perhaps more noteworthy is if we had a court storming aid to do that conversation all over again, huh?
I love, you watch the teammates on the sidelines. It's like the anticipation, like
so
hanging on bated breath, like, yes, do we cheer?
Ball was in
do
the
we
air
not
for a minute,
cheer?
wasn't it?
It felt like it, yeah, Alexa.
The best part about this is Oklahoma could not hit a shot before this one, but they made the one that counts, and that's all that matters, and they won the Big 12 title.
The dagger there to clinch the title. How about Kayla Padilla's clutch three?
Man.
Okay, we're trying to make this happen. Not going to happen there, but oh, wait, the rebound. Come on, Alexa.
Yeah. Look at that.
Incredible. And USC just being able to come out with a win in this game when Juju Watkins fouled out at the end of regulation. due to foul trouble. They're in a hostile environment. Arizona, that crowd is tough. It said a lot that the Trojans could get a big win without their superstar.
Go ahead.
I was going to just say that's a heck of a way to put some belief into your team, right? Because you have to finish that game out with them 2 overtimes without your best player. It's a good win. It's
a good feeling, too, I'm sure, to be that clutch. I would know nothing about it. Speaking of clutch, high school buzzer beater. To go to the state championship, we need this shot.
Oh, my God. Look at the team. Her teammates.
Freaking answered prayer there, you guys.
It looked like the referee wanted to be part of the celebration there for a minute and then remembered where he was. Like, for sure. On this right here, watch him.
Hey! He's like, oh,
yes.
Let me eat.
That's truly the definition of a heave. And, I mean, to be able to do that at the high school level is mad props.
Quite literally laying out for it and leaving it all out on the court. Meanwhile, a big moment for Camila Cardoso. Take a look.
Camila, let's bring the people who also made that sacrifice for the past 8 years to be away from your family. For as long as you've been away from your family, we wanted to make this day special. Bring her mom and her sister out, y'all.
How awesome is this? As you see Camila Cardoso, her family flew in from Brazil to surprise her. Any kind of family reunion, Harry, it just gets me emotional.
It does, 100%. And, you know, these are moments that you can't take for granted because I actually walked out with one of the University of Evansville men's players this past weekend. He's from France, and his family couldn't make it.
Oh, wow.
So to have these opportunities where you can actually make this happen is awesome.
So cool. I played soccer in college, like 25 minutes from my family. So it's like you just expect that your family's there. You don't think about everything that they sacrifice when you go to play somewhere else and they get to be there. Meanwhile, how about this shot? Esther Tahina from way deep, Alexa.
The Cougars have continued to surprise me. They're still in the tournament picture. They're not completely out, even though Charlize Ledger-Walker is done for the year, their star player. But, yeah, that was a huge shot. To be able to take down Colorado in Boulder that's no joke.
Harry, that looks like how I have to shoot from the free throw line just to make it.
That one scraped the roof, too, didn't it?
All right, so those were some of the big moments from the games that we've seen this week. But you take a look at the Sunday slate and the big games we have coming your way. You will get to see Camila Cardoso in South Carolina at noon on ESPN. Of course, College Game Day coming your way from Iowa City as we get ready for that top 10 showdown. Also a big one in the ACC between Louisville and Notre Dame. That could have some big implications on what happens in the top 16. Also Virginia Tech on the road in a rivalry game at Virginia. But speaking of that 1 o'clock game between Ohio State and Iowa, we spoke to Carolyn a little bit earlier. Take a listen.
Season conference games don't get much bigger than this. This is not your usual matchup.
Buckle up for the Caitlin Clark Show.
She's almost fictional.
Gotta love the play of this Iowa team.
A show-stopping highlight.
They cannot keep up with us for 40 minutes.
Who other than J.C. Sheldon?
Cody McMahon getting to the basket.
We've been saving best for last.
We cannot wait to see it, a top 10 showdown between Ohio State and Iowa. And we now welcome in Carolyn Peck from the site of College Game Day today. They are live, getting ready for what I know is going to be a rowdy crowd behind you because this ticket is a hot ticket, the most expensive in women's basketball that we've seen. Carolyn, what are you expecting it to be like there inside that arena?
Look, this is the calm before the storm because I expect that there is going to be a very energetic crowd that is so excited not only to celebrate Caitlin Clark, but Sharon Goodman, Kate Martin, and Gabby Marshall. This senior class or these final year players have brought such great memories to the Iowa University basketball program, and they want to send these women off with a great salute.
Carolyn, obviously, Caitlin's decision to go pro is one that has been one of the most anticipated that we've seen in recent memory. Obviously, the fans are not there just yet, but what has sort of been the reaction from the fans in Iowa City to that news?
Well, I tell you, it's a win-win for me, but for the fans here in Iowa, when I was in the airport coming in day before yesterday, a gentleman stopped me and asked me, what did I think? And I said, listen, her career's not over, her basketball career, because you'll be still able to watch her play in the WNBA. You may just have to travel down the road a little bit if Indiana gets their way with that first pick. A lot of people here really have talked, though, about how much they have appreciated what she has brought to this basketball program, the lives that she has touched, the young girls that she has really been a great role model for. So I think there's a great appreciation, and they know it's time for Caitlin Clark to move on to the next level.
Carolyn, Caitlin Clark has a chance to break another scoring record today. She's 18 points away from breaking Pete Maravich's record for all-time scoring, men's and women's. What does it mean for Iowa and those fans that have watched Caitlin over the years that she's going to be able to theoretically break this record at home again, just like she did with the women's scoring record? And not only is she doing it in front of the Iowa fans, but we hear Maya Moore's there as well.
Well, okay, first of all, she won't be breaking Pete Maravich's record because they'll be in two different record books. He's in the men's, she's in the women's. But in reference, Pistol Pete in the same likes when you're talking about Caitlin Clark, I think that's great because that just talks about what a great player she is and what she has done in college with that accomplishment of averaging 19.9 field goal attempts over her career and shooting 47%. That's ridiculous. And then the shots of where she has made them from. Those logo threes, that'll be something that we will never, ever forget of what she's done in college. And so I think that when she needs 18 points to match or to be past the number of points from Pete Maravich. This crowd is going to go crazy.
They absolutely are. And as it pertains to today's matchup, obviously the first time these two teams played this year, it was really close. What are going to be the keys to one team coming out on top today?
Well, I think that it's going to be a matter of how each team handles this atmosphere. It is going to be a very strong pro-Iowa environment. So who handles that the best? And then who will be able to defend Caitlin Clark? How will Ohio State switch on screens? Because if you step back and give her space, we all know she's going to knock down that three. And the other thing Ohio State has to adjust that Iowa was good with when they played in Columbus was playing in transition. And if you don't pick up Caitlin Clark early, they can get easy buckets. So I'm watching for defense on Caitlin Clark on ball screens, and then also what the defensive transition is like for Ohio State.
We know the Big Ten regular season title is wrapped up, but as this is the finale for the regular season play, do you think a win would be more important for Iowa at this point or for Ohio State?
Well, look, right now the committee has Ohio State on the one line, and if they want to stay there, this would be a good statement win for them to get, especially being on the road. But for Iowa, they could boost their resume. I mean, they're on that 2 line. If they want to get a consideration for the 1 seed, they need to win today, and then they need to go on and win the Big Ten tournament.
Carolyn, I am locked in on everything you're saying and taking in every word, but I'm also taking in the people behind you that are starting to come and sprint down the stairs now as that scene is going to be absolutely crazy there in Iowa City. Enjoy it. It's going to be quite the massive game in this top 10 showdown. We appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to watch it. I can't wait to watch College Game Day either because I know those people are packing in there. Big moment for both of these teams, but Harry, who do you think the win would be bigger for? Who needs it more right now?
I think Iowa does. I think because of some of the losses that they've had, including this one, you kind of want to see, hey, can we get this thing back in motion right before the tournament? Because they had a few of those wins last year, and I thought it did a lot for them. This one would go a very long way, in my opinion, to getting them back on that track.
That's a great sign. I got the fever. The only prescription is Caitlin Clark. What do you think?
I think, too, from an emotional standpoint, it's going to be hard maybe to have to compartmentalize if you're the players and the team because there's been so much talk over the last few days about Clark's decision. It's senior day, so that's just inherently emotional. But if they're able to really kind of capitalize off that in the right way and of the home crowd and get everyone kind of rolling with them. Iowa's so good at home. For the most part, they haven't lost at home since mid-November. So I think it's all Iowa's, to go out there and win it. And it'd be a real statement, though, if Ohio State's just like, not so fast. We got this. We're going to win 16 straight.
A little bit of that revenge factor because, of course, that game just a couple weeks ago went Ohio State's way when they were playing there at home. Going to be a great game. Cannot wait to watch it. Full Sunday slate. But we got to get ready for the game, guys.
Yeah.
You got to fuel up, knock over the table.
Yeah,
And eat your Caitlin Clark cereal.
Don't need that.
To try. You're just going to go, okay.
Hey, listen, you got a little...
Mine's
Going right in. I got the milk here. Not bad.
Superstar. No, it's like Frosted Flakes on Caitlin Clark's level. I mean, so whatever that means.
Very sugary.
I like that. Caitlin Clark's cereal is here. Caitlin Clark's senior day is here. And the game between Ohio State and Iowa is almost here. College game day coming your way. Enjoy it. This has been Countdown to Game Day, covered by State Farm.